Hey guys, I'm really excited I don't get to see you today. I'm gonna miss you guys this week. So I really wanted to get on and just get to show you my face and help you guys out. So right now we're gonna do our tin whistle. So if you don't have your tin whistle, go grab it. And Mom, this page is usually the one we go off of for tin whistle, and this is our alternate one, and it's at the class, it's at the church. And so if you don't have it, if you would please, moms, get your foundation guide, and we're going to be using our foundation guide to sing that song. And so we're going to be on page 98 and 99. That's week 11. And then also we're going to be Yankee Doodle is on page 253. So just so you know, that's what we're going to be doing. So if you have your foundations guide, that'd be really helpful for your kiddos right now. So you guys need your tin whistle and your foundations guide. So first of all, we're going to sing Yankee Doodle. So I want you to sing with me. So here we go. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Okay, so we're trying to learn that song. So kiddos, if you guys don't know all the words yet, sing it this week with your parents, or have them play it for you. There's plenty of songs out there. I really want you guys to come next week knowing the song. We're trying really hard to memorize that song so we can play it. So we sang the song, and now we're going to talk about notes. So if you think about the alphabet, how many letters are there in the alphabet? Does anybody know? That's right, it's 26. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, all the way from A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z. There are 26 letters, and we use every single letter to make up words. And then we take words and we make sentences. So we are able to communicate because we have letters that make up words and words make up sentences. In music, it's the same thing. There are letters that will represent different notes. And in music, the language of music, it's going to be just 7 letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's 7 letters. And those are our letters that make up the notes on the musical scale. So what we're going to talk about today is the musical scale. And so with just those 7 notes, we play music. And that's how we figure out, sometimes music doesn't sound so great, and that's because they missed a note or they played the wrong note. And so we're going to talk to you about how people read music like you read a book. You read music so you know what notes to play so that your music sounds good. So you sing well and you play well. So on the staff, which we talked about this a little bit last week. So this is your staff. This is all the lines. There are 5 lines and 4 spaces. This is your treble clef. And then usually right next to your treble clef is your time measure. And so this one is 4/4, which means that every measure, which you see here are your bar lines, we talked about this last week, every measure, this is a measure, this is a measure, this is a measure. Every measure will have 4 beats because it says so right here, 4. So every measure on our page today is going to have 4 beats. So you have your treble clef, this whole thing is your staff, here are your bar lines, and this is a measure, 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 okay? So what we're going to learn today is that each line, all of these lines, or each space represents a different note, and it sounds different, so you have to know which one to play. So the cool thing is there's a way to memorize that, and so on the memorization is on the line, every good boy does fine. In the space, it spells face. And so what that means is, I'm going to try and show you guys here. You might not see my face. So that first line is an E, every. Then the next line is a G, good. Then the next line is a B, boy. The next line is a D, does. And the next line is an F for fine. Every good boy does fine. So when we talk about the lines, if a note is placed on a line, you can figure out what note it is based on what line it's on. So every line plays a different note. So we can remember that by saying every good boy does fine. That's how we remember which note goes on which line. And then in the spaces, right here in that first space is an F, then the next one is an A, the next one is a C, and the last one is an E. And obviously that spells face. So you can remember in the space spells face. So every line and every space represents a different note, and that tells us which one to play so that we make the song sound correct. So on our staff for Yankee Doodle, we actually start with a D. So I'm going to show you right here. We're going to draw D. Hold on. So for our tin whistle, hope you can see this, we actually are going to start with the D scale. So our tin whistle is a D scale. So the D stands below, in the space below the staff. And then E is on the first line, F is in the space, G is on the line, A, B, C, D, E, F. So for example, if I had a whole note and then a quarter note, and then a half note. So this whole note is in this space right here. So we would know to play the A key, the A note, an A. This one is on this line, and that would be a B. And this last one is in this space, and that would be an F. So based on where the notes are on the scale, on the staff, that tells us which note to play, which is pretty cool. That's how we read music. So we're gonna learn to play some notes. So for example, I'm just gonna show you this. You can look in your mom's foundation guide and you can see that the notes are on different spaces and different lines. See how they kind of go up and down? That tells you what note to play. Now, thankfully, they've already told us at the top what note that represents. Because if you were having to read it, you would have to figure it out every single time. So, pretty cool. So, what we're going to play is we're going to play what we would call the scale. So, the scale means we're going to go up and down in our notes. So, we're going to start with a D, which is all 6 fingers on. Okay? And then we're going to play an E, which is all of your fingers except you took one off. And then an F, this is an F sharp. If you see this little symbol, it's called an F sharp. This one has the top 3 and then 1 of your right hand. And then a G is just your top hand, all 3. An A, which we've played that in class before, it's just your top 2 fingers. A B is just the top finger, that's it. All the rest are open. Now a C sharp means no fingers. You're still having to hold it, but no fingers. And then this is a high D. So this one is a low D. This is a high D, and it's got all your fingers except the top one, okay? So we're gonna play this in a second. So mamas, I'm gonna send you this, and if you wanna print it out so they can play it, that would be great. So what that's gonna look like is this. Now right now we're gonna play a whole note. A whole note gets 4 beats. A half note gets 2, and a quarter note gets 1, and then an eighth note gets a half of a beat. So we say a whole note is ta, and a half note is ta, and a quarter note is ta, and then an eighth note is ti, 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 ti. So I'm gonna send that rhythm music video also for your moms to play for you because it's my favorite and I really like listening to it. So we're gonna play right now a D, which means your left hand, right hand goes over your heart, left hand in the air, that goes at the top. Remember, we're using the pads of our fingers, not the tips. We're gonna sit up straight and we're gonna play. That's a D. And then we're gonna play an E. We're gonna lift one finger. And then we're gonna play an F sharp by lifting another finger. And then a G. And then an A. And then a B. And then I'm gonna use my pinky. It's not covering anything, but I'm just gonna use it to hold for a C sharp. And then I'm going to put all my fingers back down and just lift the top one for the high D. So we just played D, E, F, and I'm going to play it all together now. And then I want you guys to play it all together too, okay? So, pretty good. I want you guys to practice playing all of the scale in ascending order. We're going higher. So I want you guys to try practicing that this week, where you just take one finger off at a time all the way up to the top, okay? Okay, after that, we are going to look at our Yankee Doodle. So the cool thing is our Yankee Doodle is in our D scale. So there's all of our notes. And we are going to play our Yankee Doodle. So we are going to, mamas, we're not looking at this. I will take a picture and send this to you. So you should have this, but we're going to play just our alternate version. So it sounds like this. Not the best, still pretty good. So what you are playing is you are playing just two notes, D and A. So you're playing D, 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 A, D, 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 A, D, D. So that should be the first two lines of Yankee Doodle. So when we come together next week, you guys should have practiced playing Yankee Doodle, and you guys were so good at it last week. You're going to do great. I'm so excited to hear you play, and I bet you've gotten even better. So that's what we did this week. I want you to practice playing, and I want you to practice playing all your different notes and your scale, and we will talk more about this next week. We're going to review all of our information. So I'll see you soon.